The charges against Mr. Geddert are the result of a great deal of hard work by my investigators and prosecutors, and I'd like to express my gratitude to their devoted service. And that includes our victim's advocate, Becca Snyder, our special agent, Bridget Frost, Assistant Attorney General Danielle Bennett, Assistant Attorney General Kelly Carter, our acting division chief, Daniel Hageman Clark, and our Solicitor General, Fadwa Hamoud, and of course our Chief Deputy, Christina Grassi. I also appreciate the cooperation and the efforts of the Michigan State Police, the Eaton County Sheriff's Office, and Eaton County Prosecutor Doug Lloyd and his staff. This case has truly been a joint effort by law enforcement and another example of how authorities at multiple levels of government can work together in pursuit of justice. And with that, I will open it up to questions.
General. First up with questions, we will have Christiana Ford from WILX. Following Christiana will be Jim Kurtzner from WXYZ. Christiana, you can unmute.
Hi, Attorney General. Can you provide more information on John Geddert? What we know are the charges, but can you give us any details as to why, human trafficking and some of the other things that are, listed?
Okay. Well, let me speak to the charges of human trafficking the best that I can. The facts will be established in court, of course, but it is alleged that John Geddert used force, fraud, and coercion against the young athletes that came to him for gymnastics training for financial benefit to him. The victims suffer from disordered eating, including bulimia and anorexia, suicide attempts and self-harm, excessive physical conditioning, repeatedly being forced to perform even when injured, extreme emotional abuse, and physical abuse, including sexual assault. Many of these victims still carry these scars from his behavior to this day. Now, I think it's important to note that human trafficking can affect all types of people. We think of it predominantly as affecting people of color or those without means to protect themselves from this type of crime, but honestly, it can happen to anyone, anywhere. And just like the perpetrators of domestic violence and sexual assault, traffickers can seize an opportunity at any time and use the vulnerability of their victims to their advantage. Young, impressionable women may at times be vulnerable and open to trafficking crimes, regardless of their stature in the community or the financial well-being of their families.
All right, thank you, Christiana. Next up is Jim Kurtzner. Following Jim will be Anna Nichols from AP. Jim, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Attorney General. Can you expand on a few of these counts, particularly the human trafficking? You just mentioned that this included a component for financial gain. Are you alleging that Dr. Nasser paid this defendant some money directly to have access to these young women? Is that one of your allegations? Number two, you're saying in these counts, first and second degree CSC. So are you alleging, and can you expand on this, that the owner of Twistars also allegedly had sex with these young women? And how do you respond to Geddert in the past has said that he had zero knowledge of what Dr. Nasser was doing inside his facility? Those three questions. Thank you.
Jim, at this point I'm going to have to indicate that all of the facts will be proven in court, and we look forward to the testimony of what I believe will be many, many witnesses that will testify and therefore prove the elements that that are a component, of course, of each and every one of these charges. But we're going to let the testimony speak for itself.
All right, next up is Anna Nichols from AP. Eric Lloyd from 9 and 10 News will follow. Go ahead, Anna.
Hello, Attorney General. My question is, with the forced labor charges, where does that really come from? Is that the strict coaching nature, and how has that been used? Has that charge been used before in other athletic situations? As we saw with the Nasser case, toxic athlete culture is very prevalent. So I'm wondering where the forced labor is coming from.
Well, I will say that while we acknowledge that these charges are, when I say unusual, they have not typically been used and applied to the set of circumstances that I think exists in this case. But, you know, we spent many, many months reviewing the law, reviewing case law, and reviewing the facts and analyzing them extensively. And we do believe that the human trafficking charges are applicable to the set of circumstances that, you know, you'll be hearing about once all the evidence is produced in court.
Thank you. Eric Lloyd from 9 and 10 News. Kaylee from WLNS will follow.
Hello, Attorney General. I was just wondering if all these crimes, were these just while dealing with Twistars at his facility? Were they all in the state of Michigan, or were some of these when he was with Team USA?
I can't hear you. Oh, all of the allegations stem from events that occurred in the state of Michigan.
Thank you. Kaylee from WLNS and Lisa Roos Church from MERS will follow.
Good afternoon, Attorney General. My question is, does this, I mean, I don't know if you can put a number on this or dozens of how many girls this would include and minors.
Do we have an exact number on that?
We don't have an exact number. I'd say that there's less than 50, and they're all minors.
Okay. We don't have an exact number, but we would say less than 50, and they are all minors.
Lisa Roos Church, and then James Felton will follow.
Thank you very much. My questions have been asked. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. James Felton.
Yes, thanks, Attorney General. Have you heard from the survivors after announcing these charges? Has there been any reaction from the survivors or their families with these latest round of charges?
Well, I haven't personally talked to them, but I will say that my staff obviously had extensive conversations with everyone prior to us announcing the charges. We wanted to make sure that everybody was fully informed. Obviously, the individuals that are going to be involved as witnesses in this case know about this and have cooperated fully and are prepared to move forward. But we did our best to make sure that everyone knew what was going to be happening today to keep them advised. As to what their specific reactions are, I think you might have to ask them. But we hope that these charges will bring some measure of justice to some of the harm that was inflicted, and we feel confident in the allegations that we've made.
Thank you. Kim Kozlowski from the Detroit News and Michelle Polo from WKAR will follow.
Good afternoon, Attorney General. Thank you for taking my questions. So you mentioned this earlier, but I'm sorry there were some audio issues. I wondered if you could address which charges, if any, are linked to what Geddert may have known about Nasser's abuse. And also you mentioned that you wrote to the MSU board about the 6,000 documents, but you also said you were going to be closing the investigation. So I wondered when you might close the investigation.
Well, I will say this. Obviously, with as it pertains to the MSU Board of Trustees, I think they should be given an opportunity to meet to discuss the request. Clearly, you know, there are new board members that were not part of the board during the course of our previous request to them. So, you know, I think they should be given an opportunity to meet. But after their next board meeting, if they have made the decision to, you know, commit to retaining these documents and not disclosing them to our investigators, I think it's only appropriate. We can't leave investigations open indefinitely. It's been years at this point. We've made multiple requests over and over, and we've always been met with resistance. So this is our final ask. And after the next board meeting, if they have not decided to disclose the documents to us, at that point I think it's appropriate for us to close the investigation.
Okay, Michelle Polo from WKAR is next, and Kara Berg from Lansing State Journal will follow. Michelle, are you on? All right, Kara, are you ready?
Yes, thank you. Is Catherine Geddert also under investigation since she had such a intensive involvement with John Geddert and Twistars?
No.